49ers Eagles, a rematch of an NFC Championship game from a few years ago that started. Did it start? It started Josh Johnson, right? Or was it like Josh Johnson had to come in after like 5 days because Purdy got hurt on like the first play or something like that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it was just,
yeah.
You don't see championship games end
no
up
quarterbacks.
like that. Yeah.
They had no quarterbacks. And it just kind of, it created the worst discourse of like any playoff game that I can remember, I think, where Eagles fans were just like, he should have just played better. I'm like, dude, come on. God. We're talking about putting Christian McCaffrey in a quarterback in the third quarter. All right. And I think it's okay for 49ers fans to feel like they might have had a better chance if the quarterback if any quarterback could have played in that game. You know, and it just gets forgotten so fast. Gets forgotten so fast.
I know.
We crushed them.
Right.
Yeah, you should have. You should have crushed them. They didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah,
Literally, they didn't have one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Purdy went 4 for 4, got sacked. I remember he got hurt. He had like the elbow or whatever, the wrist, the hand, whatever. Josh Johnson comes in, goes 7 of 13 for 74 yards, 2 sacks. And then Christian McCaffrey had to pass the test. They looked like they ran no plays either, if I had to count these up. Yeah.
They couldn't.
They couldn't.
They're trying to get out of there.
Oh, my God.
Just trying to get out of there in the second half to go home.
They had 164 total yards. Oh, yeah, they had 3 fumbles. That's right. They had 11 penalties. They had as many penalties as they did first downs. Yeah. Typical of what you see from a Kyle Shanahan offense. But, all right, 49ers Eagles. Eagles are 5-point favorites. This keeps climbing up slowly but surely. This one is happening in Philly at the Link. What are you keening in on this game? Focusing on this game, Chuck?
Oh, man. Can anyone on the 49ers defense step up here? Is anyone capable? I guess that's the question.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I don't know either. Like it's bad out here. I mean, and I look. I understand like why Robert Saleh is getting looks for head coach stuff. Like you've been a successful defensive coordinator in the past, but wouldn't you like to see a little bit more here? Like once guys start dropping, and it's tough. Like obviously that's very difficult to coach around. But like the guy on the other side of the field, your boss did it. Like when all his offensive players started dropping like flies, you still have a top 3 offense. Like this has become basically an unplayably bad defense at times. Like even the Bears game a couple of weeks ago, just shot after shot after shot after shot. And luckily your offense is good enough on the other side that you were able to survive it. But man, they're so juiceless, and they don't really do anything to like try to alleviate that either. Robert Saleh, he's going to call what he calls, for better or worse. They don't have enough talent right now to just like sit back and 4-man rush and try to keep things in front of them. So that's where obviously like the pitfall is for the 49ers defense. Not healthy enough, not talented enough as currently constructed. Then there's the Eagles offense. Like, man, you guys haven't been good really all season. I mean, in the back half of the season, they've been flatly a below average offense. The only thing they've done well is like if they can get to the red zone, they can score, and they don't take a whole lot of sacks. That's about it. But everything else has just kind of been, it's been like slog. So like the only reason why I think I can't get quite a feel on this side of the ball is because I still just don't understand how this collection of players for the Eagles for like going on 2 seasons now, like you're having not as impressive runs as you should throughout the regular season. And this year is just flat out like not good. So maybe it'll come back to bite them later. Maybe this isn't the week, but 49ers defense, they don't have enough talent and they don't change anything up. But then you got Jalen Hurts. I don't know. This is slop, this side of the ball. This is complete slop, There's no reason why the Eagles should look this bad. Like on paper, I should say, oh my God, they're going to score 40 points. It's not going to be close. But that hasn't happened for them this year.
I know. It really hasn't. It's so like, it's the weirdest thing. I think the Eagles offense is below average. They rely too much on explosive plays, all this stuff. And then I'm like, yeah, they still have the advantage on the 49ers defense because, all right, you mentioned it. Like this has been frustrating for me, but I respect Salah. I've seen him put together good defenses and everything, but also he has that kind of Legion of Boom. I've gone on this rant a little bit on recently, has that kind of Legion of Boom philosophy in his head. So when I say that is that the Legion of Boom, those Seahawks defenses, they ran cover 3 and man coverage every single play. And I mean that almost literally, like 90% of the time. I've only seen a couple defenses ever get away with that. Like the Otts Bears would run cover 2 a bunch. Right? That's one of those defenses. You know what all those defenses have in common that just run a couple coverages? They have Hall of Famers and All Pros and Pro Bowlers throughout, or all 3 levels. And that's when I look at even Saleh with the Jets or his early 49ers teams. He had an incredible pass rush with the 49ers. Remember that Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, Bosa as a rookie, Fred Warner, the best linebacker in the game, multiple DBs. I know it was Richard Sherman on the tail end of his career and everything. But those defenses, he still runs the same system. It's still the bones of that Legion of Boom cover 3 match stuff is still there. They just run out of quarters and they run out of 3 buzz, what they call it. No, it's still cover 3, but it's just where the safety rotates. But the thing when you do that and you don't blitz a ton, they're 23rd in blitz rate this year, and it's kind of simplistic blitzes, is that you have to win with your front 4. Well, your first round picks hurt. Your defensive player of the year candidate's hurt on IR. Okay, you got Bryce Huff out there. Okay. That's not very threatening. If you're just a neutral fan, name a defensive tackle for the 49ers. Name a pass rusher for them right now. And they're not blitzing to make it crazy on the offense and live and die by the sword kind of thing, gash or be gash. They're just taking punches to the face and saying, oh yeah, the quarterback will make a mistake. What if they don't? This is what it looks like. Nobody's threatening you. So this is just full season stats. They're the lowest pressure and sack rate in the NFL. 32nd in sacks, 20 sacks on the whole year. That's like Falcons numbers. You know those numbers. 32nd in sack rate, 30th in pressure rate. They're 28th in EPA versus receiver targets. What does Jalen Hurts target more than anything? His receivers, and then a little bit of Dallas Goedert. They're not going to target the slot. They run a decent bit of zone, but they don't do the zone coverage that makes it hard on Hurts. Hurts gets caught against zone when you disguise it. All right, we're showing single high, we go to 2 high. We're showing a blitz, we get to cover 2. That's what makes Hurts do the bounce, Bill from the back of the pocket, run to his right. That's how you get him to play like that, which is what you want. You live and die with him outside the pocket. Lane Johnson is playing at right tackle. So there's another advantage for the Eagles again. And then I just looked, and it's now that 49ers too, Eric Kendricks is starting a linebacker for them because they had another linebacker injury. And so I don't know. Even if I don't think the Eagles offense is great, every stat you look at, they're 24th in rushing DVOA. Like I said, they have Lane Johnson back, but passing game wise, it's just how you can kind of it's just those explosives to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. That's what they're going to live and die by. And I think that they'll have that advantage because I just don't think that Saleh and this defense lacking teeth is just going to convolute him and make him go into chaos mode that you want him to get to. It's not going to be like Bowles making him scramble to the left over and over and over again. This is not that type of defense. If he knows what he's getting, he can probably find the answers over and over, especially with the receivers that he's got. So it's the other side of the ball that I'm thinking is interesting because then you got the 49ers offense, which has just been, pretty dang good in the back half of the season. Even before that, but the run game has picked up. It's turned into a top 5 run game over the back half of the season. And at the beginning of the season, it was basically bottom 10, which is huge going against this Eagles defense. I think that's the way to attack them because I think they're so good in coverage. But the weaknesses to me to this Eagles defense, I also want to say this, is that it's one of the best defenses remaining. Since week 10, since their week 9 bye, 5th in DVOA, they're 5th in pressure rate, 8th in success rate, 7th in EPA per play, better against the pass than the run in all those metrics. But the run, they're more above average. Pass, they're very good. But the weaknesses to this Eagles defense, some of the strengths of the 49ers. Scrambles, they're 31st in EPA versus scrambles. Brock Purdy, one of his strengths. Targets to running backs, which I think is interesting, and it makes a lot of sense considering who covers the running backs for the Eagles, the linebackers. 27th in success rate, 28th in yards per attempt, 7.1, 25th in EPA per pass, 30th in explosive plays to running back targets. You know who's really good catching the football for the 49ers? Christian McCaffrey. So, again, a natural answer for the 49ers. Having said that, I think it's going to come down to how the 49ers execute on third down, how they execute in the red zone. I looked up. I'll take a deep breath for a second and come back. But there's some interesting matchups between. I know I just rambled a lot but there's some interesting Shanahan versus Fangio splits from their past matchups that I do want to bring up. But this side of the ball, Chuck, anything on top of kind of what I laid out? I think the Eagles defense is very good, and I think the 49ers offense is very good. But they're also missing Trent Williams, missing Ricky Pearsall. So I kind of give the slight advantage to the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I expect the 49ers to have more success than they did against the Seahawks last weekend. But I'm kind of looking at this in a similar perspective. It's like, okay, both these units are good. The 49ers offense statistically has been better than the Eagles defense over the back half of the season. But when the players line up against each other, that's where I get concerned about this. Who has the best matchup? Because last week, going into that game, I was like, okay, cool. Like, you're scoring a bunch of points, but here comes a defense filled with a bunch of, goblins like dragging chainsaws across the ground everywhere. And it looks exactly like that. They got their ass kicked. Yeah, they got their ass kicked, like physically just manhandled. That could happen again here, especially if Jalen Carter is locked in and playing like as good as we know that he can be. That's where I think that this game can get scary, because they didn't have anything for Seattle up front. Like when it just came for mano, you got to block that guy and move that guy. They just really didn't have anything. And it's not that level of depth, like that many waves of guys who are good coming at you, but like the peak of it is about as strong as you can find in the NFL. And that's where I get worried. Luckily for this game, like, you do have Brock Purdy, and his elbow probably won't disintegrate and the backup won't get hurt, and you want to play your running back at quarterback. But it's still like a tough challenge, especially if you're going to be out without Trent, you're going to be without Ricky Pearsall. Now you're getting to like, okay, we would really, really have to scheme this out to score points. And that's a tough spot to be in the playoffs, because the other guy is a pretty good schemer too, and his players are better right now.
One of the best. And that's why I picked out. I was like, have these guys matched up? I'm sure they've matched up a couple times. Kyle Shanahan versus Vic Fangio. Two play callers that have called a lot of football games, hundreds of football games as coordinators, as actual play callers, not guys that get jobs that just go, yeah, I didn't call plays. Give me the job. I'm going to call plays now. They've only played against each other, though, 4 times, which actually was a little fewer than I thought. It makes sense, divisions they played in. So it was two games when Shanahan was with the 49ers and Fangio was with the Bears. So it's 2017 and 2018. And then 2011 and 2013 when Shanahan was with Washington and Fangio was with the 49ers. Points scored per drive by Kyle Shanahan those 4 games. 1 point per drive. The total points scored in those 4 matchups for Kyle Shanahan's offenses: 15, 11, 9, and 6. And rushing success rate wise, kind of, a little more below average what you see from a Shanahan offense. 37% and change, below that 40% mark you want to hit. But passing game, and I know Purdy in this passing game is better than RG3 outside of his rookie year. One of these was his rookie year. But also just, actually, no, it wasn't 2011. No, was that? No, 2012 was his rookie year because we're the same class. But no, also low explosive play rates, especially against the run, but negative 0.17 EPA per play Shanahan's offense has had. They only had 1 red zone touchdown on 11 red zone trips. And that is a stat I double checked and triple checked because I couldn't believe that. 1 touchdown on 11 trips. That's crazy good. So I think Fangio has had the advantage. I think this 49ers offense is better than what he's wielded in the past against these defenses. But I do think that, man, it's like Fangio's kind of got his number. He always plays these kind of offenses well because his initial structure of his offenses is perfect against this, or of his defenses. The 2-eye defenses, quarter shell, rotating the 3, rotating from there. That works really well against motion and works really well against outside hitting zone plays that these teams base off of. That's one way teams have gotten against the Eagles a little bit, but they've gotten so much better against zone runs this year. I know Shanahan's kind of changed up his run attack, but again, the Eagles have a lot of answers, and Fangio's kind of had Shanahan's number in their past matchups. So it's not like this thing where I'm like, he's going to have something. It's like, I don't know. You kind of got him in the past. And then I kind of looked at the one thing. I think it's going to come down to third down. So it's like the 49ers really want to execute. It's not going to be winning first and second down like Shanahan likes to do. They have to execute on third down. Watching him, like you brought up, the Seahawks defense doesn't make me optimistic because of how good the Seahawks defense played against this passing attack. And Fangio is a good coordinator too. But the Eagles defense are 31st in average distance to go on third down, 29th in stuff rate versus runs, so TFLs and gains of 0, and 21st in third down conversion rate. So I think it's going to come down to Purdy's legs, how well the run game's going, and how they execute on third down once they get into the red zone. Like, really, that's what's going to come down to. Good football matchup, I think, would be the best way to put it. Eagles are 5-point favorites at home. What's your prediction for the game, Chuck?
I picked the 49ers on my bracket, so I'm going to stick with it. I don't feel I did pick the 49ers on my bracket only because the Eagles offense, they've just looked so discombobulated this year. And this is purely a vibes-based thing. It's not like even reasonable when you start sifting through the data. But the vibes have been so bad this year. It just seems like they got to lose in the wild card round. It just seems like they got to do it. I like the more I talk this out, I don't think that like they're actually the worst team here. I think they match up pretty well, but I just don't trust them. I don't know. You've been crying all season. Like, you got some of the best players in the league, and your offense has been bad. I don't know. Maybe the overall better coach team gets you in this one, and that's my reasoning. But I picked the 49ers my bracket, so I'm going to stay consistent.
I'm going with the Eagles, but it's like I think the Eagles got their best matchup. If they went against a lot of these other teams in the first round, I wouldn't have liked them as much. Like I just think that they matched up well against this team. That's really it. It's that. Is their offense great? No, I think it's a bottom 10, 12 unit this year. But the 49ers defense, I can legit say is a bottom 5 unit without even looking at a stat. Just watch that freaking Colts game. Watch what Philip Rivers was doing to this defense. I know stuff happened, but it was like, man, he was just able to pick them apart. So, yeah, I am going with the Eagles.